Mate, I just finished Rafa's presser from Roland Garros and I'm bloody emotional. This bloke just said he hasn't touched a tennis racket in 8 months. 8 months!
That hit me like a backhand to the chest. But here's what's fascinating. After retiring, he completely lost his competitive spirit. Even playing golf, he didn't care if he won or lost. That's terrifying for someone like him.
Right? This is a man who treated practice sessions like life or death, suddenly out there shanking golf balls like, whatever, might grab a beer instead. But then the competitive fire came back. So what does Rafa 2.0 look like?
Before we get there, can we talk about the ceremony? They put a permanent plaque with his name on court Philippe Chatrier, a living player. Never happened before in Roland Garros history. And Rafa's standing there like, I'm too shy for this, while having literally the most dominant single-venue performance in sports history.
Oh, that shy bit. Listen, I love the man, but come off it. You don't win 14 French Opens by being shy. That's elite-level humility performance art. He said, I never considered myself someone very special, not in a real way. 14 French Opens? Mate, at what point do we call bullshit on the humble act?
That's where you're wrong. His humility is exactly why he achieved what he did. He said every time he stepped on court, even at his peak, he felt like he could lose. That vulnerability isn't performance art. That's psychological warfare against complacency.
But is it though? Or is it just really good branding? Because here's my controversial take. The Big Four era was almost too nice, too respectful. Where's the fire? Where's the genuine hatred that made previous rivalries legendary?
This is rich coming from someone who literally celebrated Federer mentoring younger players. You loved that sportsmanship when it was Roger.
That's different. Fed earned the right to be gracious after being a proper diva in his early years. But these four? Best mates from day one. Rafa literally said they showed the world you can fight as hard as possible, but in a good way, being good colleagues. Sometimes I want to see them genuinely not like each other.
You know what changed my mind? Rafa told this story about Andy Murray texting him right after Arsenal beat Real Madrid. Murray writes, haven't spoken to you in a while, just checking in to make sure you are okay. Took Rafa 5 seconds to realize it was classic British humor, not genuine concern.
That's the content I want. Murray trolling Rafa about football while he's having an existential crisis. That's real friendship with bite.
Exactly. It shows these rivalries were built on genuine respect, not manufactured drama. And honestly, that's why their legacies are more sustainable. They didn't burn out in toxic feuds.
Fine, I'll give you that. But here's what's bugging me. This whole I gave everything I had narrative. Anyone else slightly concerned that this man achieved literally everything possible in tennis and sounds? Lost?
Of course he's lost. 20 years with one singular focus, now he's 38 trying to figure out what motivates him. His daily routine is no routine. That's honest. Most athletes pretend they have it figured out.
True, but here's what's wild. Someone asked about his son playing tennis, and he's like, sure if he loves it like I did. But then he said he never felt like he was making sacrifices because he was doing what he wanted to do.
That's the most profound thing he said. If chasing your dreams feels like sacrifice, you're starting from the wrong place. If tennis felt like work to him, he wouldn't have lasted 2 years, let alone 20.
But that's slightly insane, right? Constant injuries, changing his entire game multiple times, chronic foot problems. And he's saying, what sacrifices? Either he's got the healthiest mindset in sports history, or he's completely rewritten his own narrative.
Or maybe that's exactly the mindset you need to dominate something for 2 decades. Complete buy-in to the point where you can't even see the sacrifices.
You know the most telling moment? When they asked about someone potentially breaking his 14 Roland Garros record, he didn't say, impossible, or, I hope not. He said another player could do it, but it would take at least 30 more years. That's simultaneously confident and realistic in a way that's unsettling.
That confidence comes from knowing exactly how many things had to go right. The longevity, injury management, luck, timing. He's not being modest. He's being mathematical about sporting greatness.
Right. And here's my hottest take. We're witnessing the end of an era where individual athletes can dominate single venues like Rafa dominated clay. The sport's too global, too fast, too deep now. What he did at Roland Garros might genuinely be unrepeatable.
So we just watched the retirement ceremony for the last true surface specialist in tennis history?
Exactly. That plaque isn't just honouring past greatness, it's marking the end of a type of dominance we'll never see again, which makes his "I'm not special" thing even more maddening because he absolutely bloody well is.
When you put it like that, maybe the humility isn't performance art. Maybe it's just a man who achieved something so singular, he genuinely can't process how extraordinary it was.
And that, right there, might be the most Rafa thing of all.